Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Sean for the Made Up Theater, and I'm back again with another episode of MUT Tips, where I'm going to discuss a concept of improvisational comedy every week, and today I'm actually going to be answering a question from a viewer. Before we begin, feel free to give this video a like or comment down below with maybe a topic you would like discussed in the future. I will address them as I get to them. But other than that, let's jump into this episode of MUT Tips with this question. I currently feel like I'm in a rut in improv. What's the best way to get out of it? That's actually a great question, because we as improvisers at some point in our improv career will find ourselves in a rut where we feel like we're not experiencing personal growth anymore, or we're not satisfied with the work that we're doing. So if you do feel that way at some point, don't worry, it's totally natural. And I have a few recommendations, mostly based on the amount of time you've been doing improv, that might be able to help. So take it as you will. Let's start with the first one. My first recommendation is for people who have been doing improv for a longer period of time. We'll say maybe like a year or more consistently. If you've been doing it for a shorter amount of time, this can also work for you. Quite simply, take a break. Improvisation can be a very fulfilling and creative art form, but obviously at times we can find ourselves mentally drained, because think about it, improv is all about making stuff up on the spot. And we as improvisers might put high expectations on ourselves, and every night we're trying to meet those expectations, but we might find ourselves not being able to meet them. And thus it can be even more draining because we aren't experiencing growth. So again, my recommendation is just take a little time away from improv. Improv is always gonna be there. You can always come back. You know, whether it's like a month, 2 months, half a year, it's up to you. Use this time to maybe learn something else, like maybe learn how to act, or learn stand-up comedy, or learn how to dance, or learn an instrument. Or quite simply just read books maybe that you've been putting off for a long time, or play a video game that you've been putting off for a long time as well. Because when you come back to improv, you have new experiences and a new kind of enhanced point of view that you can bring to your improvisation. So don't underestimate the power of just taking some time off. Again, you're not giving up on improv. You're just allowing yourself a little breathing room and allowing yourself time to miss it, so that when you come back, you feel a little bit more reinvigorated, like you're doing improv for the first time, and you can kind of get back to that really magical moment that you had when you first started doing it. My next recommendation is for people who have been doing improv for maybe a shorter period of time. We'll say less than a year. This is also applicable to people who've been doing it for a longer period of time. Maybe you've taken a break already and you're looking to get past that ceiling that's above you. So my recommendation is assess yourself and set goals. As improvisers, it's always very beneficial to actually assess who you are as an improviser. And that means, what are your strengths? What are some things that you should be working on? What are your go-tos? And you know, sometimes as improvisers, we can't necessarily give us a very objective criticism of ourselves. So it helps to actually get an outside perspective. So possibly consult a teacher, or maybe a coach, or possibly a close improviser who maybe you've been working with for a while. But bear in mind, you really need to be open to criticism and essentially take the notes. If they give you something that they feel like might be a weakness to you, then take it as a type of goal. Like, I'm going to try to overcome this weakness to become a better improviser. So now that you've assessed yourself as an improviser, you can start to set goals for yourself. And these should be attainable goals that you can achieve within a classroom setting or in a show setting. So for example, if I'm an improviser who relies more on my dialogue, then I can set goals for myself that kind of counter that a little bit more and get me to try something different. So maybe I'll set a goal where I'm going to start this next scene doing an activity. That's a very attainable goal, and it also isn't me planning something that might happen further in the scene. I'm just doing it right off the bat. I'm starting this scene by washing dishes. And then boom, I've achieved my goal, and just by doing that slightly new thing, you can see if it leads somewhere new. Maybe you might interact with the environment more in the scene that you usually do. So try to look at yourself as an improviser and try to do something different that counters what you usually do as an improviser. So if you're more of a straight-laced character who plays close to yourself, try to do characters that are more emotionally based, or maybe more physically based. And if you're the opposite of that, maybe you play more weirder characters that are more extreme with their body and emotions and maybe their voice. Try to play characters that are a little bit more close to yourself as a way to try something new, and you'll discover new things. The best improvisers are improvisers who can do anything. So try the stuff that you never do in improvisation. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode of MUT Tips. I appreciate it. Again, if you liked the video, give it a like down below or comment with maybe a topic or question that you would like addressed in a future video. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And again, my name is Sean Taylor, and I will check you out next week for another episode of MUT Tips. Later, everybody!